Welcome back to Boss Crew.
Oh,
Hello,
hello, everyone.
people.
Woo! Hello. Hello. It's been a while, it feels like. Oh my goodness. Today we're actually introducing one of our members, Lorenzo. He's been a little out of pocket with so much going on, but he's graced us with his presence today. So, Lorenzo, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us, just your background, your journey up till today.
Hi, guys. My name is Lorenzo. Last name Sanatiempo. I met all these lovely people during our time in the, I guess you could call it spring and summer class cybersecurity section part of our UConn course. Little daunting. I have never sectored into any of this infosec with anything cybersecurity related. Went to school for finance, had no knowledge of anything of any sort of this. And truthfully, I was just a little curious. I had a family member who was in this field particularly, had reached out, told me to try out some different material, try out some different courses, and this one had came up. And I entered in, I think it was of last year, around this time. And then we got ready to start. I think it was the second week of February, if I'm not mistaken,
Right.
Mhm.
and didn't know any of these nice folks. Started chatting on the side, working on projects together, assembling team meetings, and as we know now we're all together and graduated a little while back, and very grateful to be here.
Glad you could be
Yeah.
here too.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish I had an air horn because I would have said, "Brr, brr, brr, brr," like,
You know, right?
think you kind of needed that.
Yeah, right. The little
Just
extra,
a little
right?
just a little soundboard, but with only
Yeah.
with Paul's audio jerk. So
Yes, yes,
oh yeah,
yes.
oh man.
We need to, you know what? I wish we saw the recordings. That would have been nice. That would have been a
Yeah,
nice little thing
it's
to
true, so true.
keep. Oh, I still hear it in my head every now and then.
Miss him
Oh,
very
that's
much.
awesome. Yeah,
So
for sure.
Lorenzo, part of what we're doing with this podcast is we share with our audience a little bit about our journey, things that we're working on, um, directions that we're trying to go into. So, if I could ask you, what are you currently working on or towards?
Well, besides trying to catch up with all the material that you guys have been putting out for the past few weeks since I was gone for a month, trying to catch up with that. Besides all that, just mainly just working on GitHub, just looking at different repositories. There's so much information out there that honestly you
Yes, it
can go on
is.
so many different news outlets and lead to so many different
Mhm.
paths. Sometimes it becomes a little chaotic in some ways, I will say. On the side, obviously studying for the Security Plus certificate, as I'm sure we all are. Which,
Yes.
on a side note, anyone that is interested in that course, the school does cover the cost of that after you finish graduating. So definitely it's something to consider greatly, as we all are on the side studying for that certificate itself. And others, I think, within the course chose different certificates. It doesn't have to be primarily that one. Besides that, I also have been, like Bindi always preaches, and should be sponsored by now, if you're listening from anyone from Try Hack Me, needs to sponsor Bindi. She has put out so much
That is so
word of
true.
mouth to
That's
everyone she
so
knows
true.
about Try Hack Me, and it's a
So
great
true.
resource to train. It is really, really good. I will say, even if it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, it's so worthwhile just to get the practice in with
Mhm.
the different levels and all the challenges and the extra help that you can get. It's so, so beneficial. So, if it's not for that, and then the little time that I do have left over, then it's just really just reading different material from different websites, different news outlets. I mean, there's so many different types that you can go on. You could do Krebs on security, threat posts, We Live security, so many different outlets that you can do whatever you need to do just to find different info. To be honest with you, sometimes I don't even know what they're talking about, and then leads you into more research, and then it snowballs into something else. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. There's never a daunting or boring day in this field, I will say so.
Mhm. That's for sure. For sure. And
Yeah,
there's
that's
always
one
something to
thing.
learn. Yeah,
Oh
there's
yeah.
always something to learn.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
Something
Yeah,
to
yes.
learn.
Continuously.
always.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah. What were you saying, Christian? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was actually going to say there is so much to learn. It's one thing. We spoke about this too. That when you start something, the hardest thing to do is to stick with one subject.
Oh yeah.
It is
Yes.
so hard to do. And
Yes.
yep, as
This
Tyrell
guy
Tyler
right
is
here.
raising his
Yup.
finger,
This
he's
guy
not
right here.
Yup.
asking to talk. He's just saying, I am
Yeah.
an example. And I
Yes.
Oh yeah.
remember
Yeah.
Tyrell coming in
Yeah.
and saying, like, guys, I feel so overwhelmed because in the
Mhm.
morning you're reading about something and you'll find it interesting and you're like, oh, this is
Yep.
something I should dig in. And then by
Yep.
the end of the day, you're on a completely different topic, but
Yeah.
which is in the same field. I believe cybersecurity is a fun field. There is
Yep.
always room to learn more.
Yes.
And yes, like you said, Lorenzo, Try Hack Me is one of the best resource that someone can use.
For a
It
beginner.
Mhm.
covers,
For a beginner.
of course. I mean, uh, I seen on LinkedIn people posting their journey, and some I saw someone recently posted their 300 streaks. They've been on
Mm,
Try Hack Me for 300 days.
wow.
They did the one
Wow.
streak
Mhm.
a day, and he's actually CISSP certified and CMMC certified. So he is working on the audits.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
which is someone with many years of experience in the field who is still using Try Hack Me
Mhm.
for the reasons. And TryHackMe has so many rooms, not only cybersecurity 101, but things that get into a more complex level. Of course,
Mhm.
it has a limit, but it's a very good resource, I'll say, to to learn and to get your hands on practice.
Mhm. For
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Absolutely.
A little bit
Absolutely.
every day goes a long way.
Yes.
Long way. Yeah, I definitely liked it over Hack the Box, especially being a beginner in this field. Um, Hack the Box is definitely up there, but try Hack Me. I feel like there's so much to do and learn in that itself because you can set up a CTF there. You can learn how to set up a VPN there. And then they have like the easy, the beginner, the medium, the hard. They have all the levels included
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an experience. That's what
Yes.
I'll say.
Yes.
An
Yes.
experience for sure. So we'll include the link in this video so that if anyone's interested in Try Hack Me, I did look up the price and I forgot what it was again, but it was between 127 and 132. It was nothing crazy, and that's for the year, and you get access to everything it has to
Everything.
offer.
Hmm.
Everything. So I think that was like the best part about it. It doesn't
Yes.
break
Yep.
the bank, but it definitely
Now is
is
that monthly or is that broken down monthly or is that broken up like as a one-time
it's
payment
No.
for the year?
one-time payment.
One-time
One time
payment.
payment. Yep.
One-time payment for the year. Yep. And again, if you break it down, I think it comes out to like $11 a month, give or
Yeah.
take,
Your Apple
roughly.
Music subscription's gonna cost more
Yeah.
than mine, so
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
it's like you gotta cut back. No more Hulu for the year
Yeah.
or something, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Well, and little not a lot of people know this, but you can get a job through Try Hack Me. People hire through Try Hack Me. So all of these sites, even Hack the Box, people will hire you through the website because they see what you're doing, they see your accomplishments, they know the website. Anybody in this field knows about it because it's such a big resource. So they do
Fine with it.
hire based off of it. Yeah. So it's definitely worth every penny. Every penny.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, can I let me ask you one more question because I know we're pretty short on time with you.
Mhm.
What if you can give maybe share one source of I guess a source of what I'm thinking is any recommendation as far as like pursuing a career in cybersecurity. Is there anything that you would probably say to someone if they was looking to get into this career, or maybe not? You know, what's your take?
I think honestly, it's like two things, especially if it's someone that has zero knowledge, probably like myself, especially last year, had no clue. Before I even signed up for this course or even thought about it, because obviously I'm sure, as we all did, had, second hesitations or things like that, is honestly just talking to people that are in the field, reaching out, or just going online and asking questions. I mean, besides the few people that I found out with my family that were in this sector, or friends of a friend that were in this sector, honestly, just asking questions right before you even jump into it, because it can seem a little daunting, by all means. So definitely reaching out to people that you know, finding people online, going on YouTube, going in the comments, asking people questions, even TikTok now. You can go search up anything cyber related and go find people that are in the field currently, and they'll answer all your questions and give you a roadmap to maybe not have you do a course, or maybe go for that certificate first, or do this or do that, and steer you in the right direction. I know personally, before I signed up for this course, I had someone that had worked with Microsoft on the higher ups, um, very, very high end position. And she had told me that this course would be a great way to get your toes wet and basically just get the ball rolling, because it was an all in one course, gave you all the flexibility, very remote, allowed us to touch on so many different platforms, so many different programs, go through material so quickly. And if it wasn't for that, I don't even know if I would be here right now. So I'm very
Mhm.
grateful for that advice. And I think that's very important for people that are very interested, is just asking questions. That's the most important thing you can do. And just be curious to learn, because that's really what this field is. It's just every day you're learning something new. I think that's very important for anyone that's even curious about this line of work or field in general. So,
Life learner, be a lifelong learner.
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
have to be.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And to even back up Lorenzo on that, um, I think one of our videos where we talk about InfoSec Institute, we did say that there is so much resources out there. So make
Mhm.
sure that you do your homework, because
Oh
like
yeah.
you said, you may not have to enroll in a course.
No.
Of course, if you want to, it'll be good, but
Mhm.
there is so much, so many resources and so many people out there, influencers doing this. And I've encountered on TikTok, on X, on LinkedIn, people will actually post those resources, who post roadmaps, who guide people
Yep.
and answer questions, putting content every day out there to help beginners or new people with zero knowledge. And even today, I've discovered that SANS Institute also offers a cybersecurity bootcamp,
Oh,
and it is, if I'm not mistaken, free.
Hmm.
Yeah,
wow.
Wow.
they do have that. They have it. Um, they have a minority and women program. They have a veterans program,
Mhm.
and you can go into it. And I think their next cohort is starting in December, but the enrollment is ending up at the end of this month, or no, next week. I believe next week,
Okay.
November 19th. So we'll post a link here so you guys can check it out. And also, Cisco offers a bunch of cybersecurity and networking courses
Mhm.
for free on their website. It's called
Okay.
Cisco Academia, or I'm not so sure about the name. I'll double check and make sure it is in the description. But there are many resources out there.
Mhm.
Do your homework, and because like Lorenzo said, getting into this, if you had no background related to it, to tech at all, it can be difficult. I'm not gonna say. And one of the our biggest challenge, I can speak for myself, but I also can speak to everybody here. The biggest challenge during our cohort was to stick to the program. We
Yes.
started
Yep.
Oh
with
yeah.
so many people, and
Mhm.
at the end, when we
Yeah.
graduated, half of them were gone.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the biggest challenge of it is not it's not understanding the tech really. It's the sacrifices that you'll have to do. It's keeping
Mhm.
up with it. And that requires I believe it requires a lot from your personal life, from what's going on around you, but
Mhm.
also, it relies on how you can understand things. And if you get the chance to understand a few of them before you get into it, it will probably help you.
For sure. And time
But
management
yeah.
was so important because
Yeah.
everyone had different things going on in their lives between work, kids, family, looking for a house, looking for an apartment, moving, everything was going on.
Yeah.
And it's managing that time and then completing this course. That
Mhm.
was what two things, it's hard, especially if you're tired. It's been a long day. Kids are
Mm.
screaming their heads off. Long day at work with X, Y, and Z. You just have to have the patience with yourself, and it's okay to take a day. It's okay to say, okay, today I'm not doing anything on the computer. I'm staying away from it. I've done that multiple times, and I think having good friends helped bring me back because it's like, okay, if I leave, like, what are they gonna do? Because I know we always talk about this. Taiwo and I have talked each other down from the ledge so many times, so many times. So it's a lot to process by yourself, but if you can find a good group of people to go through this journey with, nothing's impossible.
No, nothing.
Absolutely. I
Definitely.
Nothing.
feel like that's definitely
Absolutely.
half the battle, though. I
It
mean,
is.
there were many times where we were in our course, and everyone else will say most definitely for sure, where people would refuse to talk. They wanted to ride solo, and they wanted to just do the work themselves.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that. But there's unity in numbers, and for the amount of work that we were receiving in that short period of time, it made no
Mhm.
sense to just solo dolo it. We
No,
always
not
came
at
Mhm.
all.
together, we always helped each other out with projects, working together on different, even the CTFs coming together at
Yep.
different points on the course, on the side, messaging each other, trying to work things out, lining things up with our tutors and scheduling and trying to figure out problem solving, different solutions to
Mhm.
whatever was on our agendas. So this is not, you know, you by all means you can take your own path and see be it, but this field definitely it requires you to reach out. You need to be a very
Mhm.
personable person where you need to be able to, I guess, in shorter terms, be dispensable. You need to contact people. You need to be consistent, check in.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're gonna have good days. Some days you're gonna have bad days. I mean,
Mhm.
as Mindy said, sometimes you gotta just take a day because that course
Yeah.
material, like we were in some holes some days.
Yep.
The with your regular homework assignment and then the project coming up on top, and then the
Okay.
next following week we'd have the test. So you'd be sweating bullets
Yeah.
just trying to time management with the three courses during the week. So
Yep.
Yeah.
definitely,
Yep.
it's definitely not easy, but it makes it much better if you have people around you that give you that support. So definitely grateful for that. And I don't know where I would be if I didn't speak up in some of those class sessions. So staying silent does not help you at all.
No, not at all.
I
No.
would just get out there and
No.
just go talk.
Yeah, for
Absolutely
sure.
helps you tremendously.
And that's how you learn too, because there's not one person who knows everything, because there's
Everything.
always
Yeah.
something to learn. This
Unless
is
you're
a
Paul.
field.
No, no.
If you're watching this, Paul, we know you know everything.
And then
Um,
if he
but
doesn't,
it's yeah,
jerk.
right, right. He's probably saying that about you as he watches this.
Yeah.
Everybody's so confused why I just said that, but that's going to be a
Yeah,
topic for another day.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for another day. But yes, I agree. Just so grateful for what we've built here. between the group of friends, this company, this podcast, this knowledge, this everything, everything. It just amazes me. And every time I tell the story, it's like we all live in the same state, but we would have never met each other had it
Yeah.
not been for this class,
No,
had it not been
never.
for this course. Because we are in the same state, but we're spread out in all like 20 directions. There's not just four, there's like 20 directions, maybe 100. I don't know, depending the way you want to look at it. But for a small state like this, and still be able to find each other, become friends. We did our meetups, we have fun, drinks, food,
Yeah.
but then also talk about this. We talk about our journey. We talk about what we're doing. We talk about where we're going with this dream that we have built and every day we built upon. It's it's a lot to take in, and it's just all good vibes. All good vibes. So
And it's
that's my little spiel for the day.
Oh no, and if I could just add one more thing about
For
just
sure.
speaking up and just coming outside of yourself. If you are someone that's looking to get into um, a cybersecurity program and you're not comfortable with being more social or just talking to people, start working on it because it is a soft skill that a lot of companies are looking for people going into the cybersecurity field to have. Um,
Absolutely.
being impressionable because the old stigma was that people who did IT work were just very rigid, were very stiff, and they weren't impressionable. And I think we I think Paul might have said this early in the courses when he talked about how in this field they were looking for people that are able to relate the information in a language that someone who doesn't know anything about this will understand. And that's where those soft skills come
Yep.
in at. So
Mhm.
if you're watching this or listening to this, wherever you at, and you're trying to understand how to get into this field of cybersecurity, and you may not have been somebody that didn't talk a lot to people,
Yeah.
I would suggest that you start becoming you have to become uncomfortable to become comfortable. And
Absolutely.
Mhm.
developing those soft skills is something that you're going to need to do. And again, Lorenzo said it well. I could probably remember a lot of times being in class, and there were people that I think about actually from our course,
Yeah.
and I
Mhm.
remember because they didn't speak up, and I wonder where they're at right now. And that's just me. I have a soft spot
No, yeah.
in that
For
Absolutely.
sure.
area,
Absolutely.
but yeah, develop those soft skills. People start
yeah,
speaking up.
I think it's actually great that you brought that up, Taiwo, because for anyone that doesn't know this, and I'm not sure if you guys touched on this since I've been out a few weeks, our final presentation was it had to be under 10 minutes, a live demo of us showcasing our skills in a presentation and then breaking it down to a normal person and then presenting that to our professors. So for anyone
Mhm.
thinks that they're going to go into this field and they're just going to hit the books and not say a word and just be, on their little island, it doesn't work like that for this field of
No,
work.
Mhm.
no,
Absolutely.
not
Nope.
at
There
all.
were
very
kids that tried that in this course and it did not work out for them. And I'm not saying that, if you struggle with, people skills and things like that, then, that's to be worked on. But you need to understand that you have to be able to articulate information and then break it down very quickly and very
Mhm.
Absolutely.
swiftly for people to understand you. Because just
Mhm.
Exactly.
because you understand how something works isn't good enough in this line of work. You have to be able to then articulate that and then translate it per se to the
Mhm.
average person. So I guess this is relative to what how Thor, our last professor, basically was always saying to us was that you need to be able to articulate all that info very quickly and then present it to maybe a board team members that are, you're pitching your ideas to, or you might
Mhm.
be, trying to recruit people for a project and you need them to understand the vulnerabilities for certain aspects of certain things. It can be totally so many different aspects of that, but like Taiwo said, you gotta work on those people skills, those soft
Mhm.
people skills. It matters so much. Not so much in the beginning, but when you start working with groups and you got presentations and you're trying to do
Mhm.
demos and you're trying to bounce off ideas with people, it's so important to communicate. It's so important to stand up and speak, even if you don't know what's going on, because someone might be able to help you in that moment. I can't tell you how many times Bindi would be lost on something, or Ty would be lost, or myself, I would be lost, and we would always come together and always figure out different ways to go about tackling whatever our project or assignment was. So it's very important. It's
For
almost
sure.
immense.
Oh,
So
It
yes.
it is. And it's okay to ask for help. I think being humble in that is important because not everyone is okay with that. They see it as a sign of weakness. It's not. Asking for
No,
help not only helps you learn, but maybe the person helping you will learn something new out of the question,
absolutely.
or it'll pitch in a new form of ideas. It's That's how things are created, is asking the questions. It's willing to learn, willing to kind of branch out from within yourself because each one of us is unique in the way we think because of how we grew up, because of what we've been through, because of our struggles, because of our strengths, our weaknesses, everything. So each of us has a unique style of thinking, a unique style of walking. So the four of us sitting here, if there was a question that was thrown out, each one of us would have similar but very different answers
Yeah.
because of our outlook on that. So it's a lot of being able to mesh with people who aren't like you, but very much like you at the same time, because there are people at all sides. There's people, like they said, quiet. There's people who are talkative. There's people who will ask questions and it really gets you going like, that's that's a good question. Like, and then you're searching, you're trying to figure it out, or you're waiting for the answer and you're writing everything down. There's just there's just so much going on at once. Your brain is going in a million different directions, but you're learning so much in those directions that you have to keep up with it. It's hard,
yes.
but it's worth it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I
It really
absolutely
is. It really is. It really
Definitely.
absolutely
is.
agree. But I won't hold you guys. I do gotta run. So I know you're gonna keep going with this. So I appreciate you guys for having me and looking forward to be back next week. I'm not sure what time you guys start up for Thursday, but I'll message you and I'll check back in. But it was great
No
being
problem.
here and
No,
thank you very much,
thanks.
guys.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
thanks
thanks
to
for
you.
jumping
If
in. Thanks
if
for jumping
if
in.
no one has anything else, actually, we can cut the recording here and have the next topic for next time.
Yeah.
Everyone good with that? Yeah?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then this is Boss Crew signing out with you guys. Bye.
Peace. Thank you.